The Galactic Council had made their decision with cold, calculated precision. Humanity was too dangerous, too unpredictable. Their expansion across the stars had been meteoric, their adaptability unnerving. The solution proposed by the Velkari Empire was elegant in its cruelty. Take human children no more than 5 solar cycles old and abandon them on Krevdon, a death world where even the plant life had evolved to kill. The predators of Krevdon were apex hunters, creatures that had dominated their ecosystem for millions of years. The Council believed the human cubs would be consumed within days, their species learning a harsh lesson about their place in the cosmos. They deposited 43 children across the planet's most hostile regions and watched from orbit, waiting for nature to take its course. Leora was 3 years old when she woke in the crimson jungle, her small hands clutching a torn blanket that still smelled faintly of her mother. The sky above blazed with 2 suns, and the air was thick with the scent of decay and something sweet she couldn't name. She didn't cry. Even at that age, something in her understood that tears would bring death. The first predator found her within hours, a Krevdon, a 6-legged beast with obsidian scales and teeth designed to crush titanium. It towered over her, its 3 eyes analyzing the strange, soft creature that had appeared in its territory. Leora looked up at the monster, and instead of running, she smiled. She reached out with one tiny hand and touched its scaled snout. The Krevdon should have killed her instantly. Every instinct in its ancient DNA commanded it to strike. But something in the child's fearlessness, in the way she showed no recognition of danger, confused the predator's hunting protocols. It sniffed her, tasted the air around her, and found no fear scent. Without fear, she wasn't prey. She was something else. Leora lived with the Krevdon pack for 2 years. She learned to move through the jungle canopy with their young, her human flexibility allowing her to navigate spaces even they struggled with. She ate what they ate: raw meat, bioluminescent fungi, the occasional unwary scavenger. Her immune system, that remarkable human adaptation, didn't just survive Krevdon's toxins, it thrived on them. Across the planet, in the volcanic wastes of the southern continent, Thain was having a similar experience. Dropped at 4 years old into a nest of shrikeworms, serpentine horrors that hunted in coordinated packs using electromagnetic pulses, he should have been their first meal. Instead, the pack matriarch found him curled against her eggs, keeping them warm with his body heat during a cold snap that had killed 3 of her previous clutches. The matriarch didn't kill the strange cub. She kept him. Thain grew up understanding the language of electromagnetic pulses, his brain adapting to perceive the signals the worms used to communicate. He learned to hunt with them, his human endurance allowing him to chase prey for hours while the worms conserved energy for the final strike. He became the pack's scout, the one who ventured into territories too hot even for their heat-resistant scales, because human sweat glands could regulate temperature in ways their biology couldn't match. 12 years passed. The Galactic Council had long forgotten about their solution to the human problem. Humanity had protested, threatened war, but without evidence or location they could do nothing. The children were presumed dead, a tragic loss that would serve as a deterrent. Then the Velkari made their mistake. A mining expedition landed on Krevdon, seeking the rare crystal deposits in the Crimson Jungle. They came with weapons, force fields, and the arrogance of a species that had never known true predators. They began clear-cutting a section of jungle that happened to include Leora's territory. The Krevdon pack attacked first, but the Velkari weapons were designed to kill such creatures. 3 of Leora's packmates fell in the initial assault. She watched from the canopy, now 15 years old, her body lean and scarred, her mind a fusion of human cunning and predator instinct. She didn't mourn, she planned. That night, Leora led every pack within 5 territories to the mining camp. She used her human vocal cords to mimic the hunting calls of 6 different apex predators, creating a symphony of terror that drew them all to one location. Then she disabled the mining camp's perimeter defenses using techniques she'd learned from watching the machines. Her human problem-solving skills applied to sabotage. The predators of Krevdon fed well that night. Word reached the council within days. Not just about the mining disaster, but about the figure leading the predators, a human, feral but unmistakably intelligent, commanding the Death World's apex species like a general commands troops. Investigation teams found similar reports across Krevdon. A human in the volcanic wastes who rode shrike worms and spoke in electromagnetic pulses. Humans in the ice caverns who hunted alongside frost leviathans. Humans in the acid swamps commanding swarms of razor-wing hives. The 43 children hadn't died. They'd become something the galaxy had never seen. Apex predators with human intelligence raised by monsters, adapted to the cruelest environment in known space. The Council convened an emergency session. The Velkari demanded military action, but Earth's ambassador, finally armed with evidence, made a different proposal. "You tried to kill our children by leaving them with monsters," she said, her voice calm but her eyes burning with barely contained fury. "You succeeded only in teaching them to become the most dangerous creatures on that planet. Now we're going home to get them, and if anyone interferes, they'll learn what happens when you threaten humanity's cubs." The rescue mission found Leora in the Crimson Jungle. She stood atop a Krethfor matriarch, the same one who'd found her 12 years ago, and watched the human ships descend. She remembered nothing of Earth, nothing of her birth language, but she remembered the smell of that torn blanket, and she remembered being small and alone. When the team leader approached, speaking gently in English, Leora's human brain awakened fully for the first time in years. Tears fell, not from fear but from recognition. She was home. But looking back at her pack, at the creatures who'd raised her, protected her, taught her to survive, she realized something profound. She'd always been home. Thain stood with the shrike worms as ships came for him too, electromagnetic pulses singing goodbye around him. Both he and Leora made the same choice that day. They would return to humanity, but they would never forget the predators who'd loved them when the galaxy had wanted them dead. The Council learned their lesson too late. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology or their aggression. It was their ability to find family anywhere, to adapt to any circumstance, and to never ever abandon their own. Even when raised by monsters, humans would always find their way home.